They are.
Your Honor, this time I tutored those in states 25 through 28 into evidence.
No objection.
In that posting, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
25, what are we looking at here?
Mr. Ben Michael, he's in the back bedroom when he was with Sergeant Soto.
Now, it hasn't taken me very long to go through these photographs, but trying to show the time at the time that this occurred, how long things take. About how long were you at the scene taking pictures and things before you actually started doing these side of photographs?
Maybe 10, 15 minutes.
And during that time, were you able to
I
actually
give up
see
on that for right now.
how they're just how they looked and how they were presented to other people?
Yes.
You ever seen people in shock before?
Yes.
You ever see people trying to process something that just doesn't normally happen?
Yes.
Here's the next picture, states 26. What is this a picture of?
Picture of the blood on his shirt.
States 27. What do we have a picture here?
Pictures on the palm of his hands and on the sleeve of his shirt.
And then states exhibit 28. What is this one?
The top parts of his hands with blood and the blood on the shirt.
When you talked to Jason Spieler, the first person we had photographs of, what was his demeanor like?
He was kind of shook and not still trying to process everything.
Did it appear that whether or not he was in shock?
He might have been. I can't say for certain.
Part of your job when there's a death scene, is in this case, have you ever had to notify, for example, a father that his child had died?
Yes.
Did you have to do that in this case?
Yes.
Tell the jury, if you would, when you notified Benjamin, Michael, Brian Joyce that Hannah had died, how did he respond?
He was extremely emotional, crying. He had to sit down on the edge of the bed and just sobbing. And I tried to ask for somebody that he could contact for him or not.
Did it appear he was just undone, overcome?
Yes.
Judge Matt Fresh just put some evidence up. May I have one moment, please, Your Honor?
All right, thank you. Cross-examination, Mr. Galloway.
I have no questions of this witness, thank you.
All right, any reason to keep the witness?
No, no.
You can be excused. Thank you, sir.
Witness is
All right, call your next witness, please.
Chris Shaw. Yeah, I'm sure. Raise your right hand. These numbers are affirmed evidence you're about to present this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
I do.
Go ahead, have a seat. State your name for the record, if you would, please.
Christopher Shaw.
Where do you work?
I currently work for the Cherokee County School District Police Department.
What do you do there?
I'm the SRO assigned to Cherokee High School.
What is SRO?
I'm the school resource officer.
Do you enjoy that?
I do.
What all schools do you work at?
Just Cherokee High School.
How many students are there now?
Last check was 2,800.
Now, how long have you been doing that?
I'm in my third school year.
Before you did that, did you work anywhere else?
I did. I work for the Cherokee Sheriff's Office.
What year, are you a post-certified peace officer in the state of Georgia?
I am.
And what year did you go to the academy?
2003.
Where'd you go?
North Central Law Enforcement Academy.
And how long was that?
411 hours.
What I'd like to do is just very quickly kind of your resume. Where did you start? What did you do? And when did you end up moving before you left the sheriff's office?
In 2003, I was a police officer with City of Holly Springs. I was there for just shy of a year when I went to the Woodstock Police Department. There I was assigned to uniform patrol and then eventually became a canine officer with them. In 2007, an opportunity arose for me to go to the Cherokee Sheriff's Office where I spent a short time in uniform patrol at the Wallace Precinct and Bridgeville 6th Precinct 4, being assigned to the Violent Crimes Unit in 2008. In 2009, that unit was dissolved and merged with CID, and so in 2009, I became part of the Criminal Investigations Division, assigned to even watching the DV unit, and from there, continued my journey where I was assigned to crimes against children, and then back to major cases for a little bit, before eventually winding up in the Intel unit, where I oversaw the formation and running of the crime scene unit, and then eventually rolled into managing our digital forensics unit, our whole forensics unit as a whole for the Cherokee Sheriff's Office. I left there in 2022 as a sergeant.
I want to turn your attention to Tuesday, December 8th of 2020. Obviously, you know why you're here today to talk about that day.
Yes, sir.
If I can just kind of pinpoint that date, at that time in history, what was the sheriff's office like when it came to crime scene unit, crime scene technicians? How many we have, what kind of people were in that?
We had 2 full-time, myself and my lieutenant, and then we had several part-time officers and civilian crime scene investigators who all took on-call rotations, but it was primarily my sole job.
In 2020, how much bigger was the sheriff's office compared to the Kent Police Department when it came to just human resources?
We were significantly larger. Just our criminal investigation division was 3/4 of their whole department at the time, so we could bring to bear a lot of resources.
And is the sheriff's office at that time a professional organization?
Yes, we were both state and national certified.
In bigger agencies like the sheriff's office in Cherokee County in 2020, at that time, was there specialization for certain skills and talents that officers, investigators, and detectives had?
At that time, for us, we could specialize. So in 2010, I began my crime scene journey at the state level and getting my state certification. In 2015, I was afforded the opportunity to attend the National Forensics Academy, where I graduated with session 39 from the National Forensics Academy. So that's our ultimate goal in crime scene. We get to train with other crime scene investigators from all over the country, and sometimes we get to train with them from all over the world. And so in 2015, after my graduation from there, we continued our training and bringing that large network of resources that we have to bear in our small little pond of Cherokee County.
Now, I know we're retrospect, looking backwards 4 years later after it occurred, but in the beginning when you go to the crime scene and you're called in, do you know what all tools and things you have to use to process a scene?
No, I usually figure that out once I get there.
And can a scene be a simple scene where it doesn't take much? You can just take photographs to a very complex scene where you're looking for DNA and other evidence.
Absolutely.
Have you worked all different types of scenes?
I have.
And when you went to this scene, were you asked to help out the police department at the scene?
I was.
And what did you do here in this scene specifically?
So the initial call was to respond to the address there at Mountain Vista Boulevard. However, I was deviated to the hospital first, where I was asked to photograph and document the injuries on the victim child, and then from there respond back to the scene to assist the Kent Police Department and their Detectives Bureau with processing the scene inside this single-family residence.
So the first place you went to, heading to the actual crime scene, but then you actually ended up going to the hospital.
Yes, sir.
Did you go north side?
I did.
Was that because you had to go there and process the crime scene of the child herself?
Yes.
And that's Hannah Nicole.
Yes.
When you got to the hospital, just tell the jury what you saw.
So when I arrived in the emergency department, I was met with Sergeant Cromer, who was the Kent police officer there, and with Deputy Coroner Sally Sims. I was brought into the trauma room where I was presented with a 13-month-old white female covered with emergency room style blankets. Obviously, lots of evidence of medical intervention was present on the victim child. Got a very brief overview of presentment at the hospital, and then began documenting the decedent's condition as it was when I arrived in the emergency room. We do that through photography. In this case, we use digital imaging, digital photography. So I began just taking overall photographs of the victim child. From there, we start to remove layers, i.e. we take the blankets back, more pictures, continue to document all angles of the victim. From there, we go into close-up photography of any injuries or defects present on the decedent. In this case, there were several present in the neck area of the victim child. Once all that photography was done, knowing that the decedent is going to go to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
Retailing.
That concludes my interaction with the decedent, so as not to disturb any crime I was going to do in their formal setting through autopsy. And so from there, I was released from the hospital to go back to the scene to start that part of our crime scene processing.
When you went to the hospital and little Hannah was there, were there many people around her, or was she by herself?
She was by herself. Well, excuse me. Deputy Coroner Sally Sims was present, myself, and Little Hannah.
Did you arrive after all the life-saving attempts had been done?
I did.
Just this time, man, first witness.
Yes.
This takes exhibits 29 through 35. See if those are fair enough photographs of Hannah as she was at the hospital. Yes.
They are.
Here, may I approach again?
Yes.
I don't think she doesn't seem very remorseful so far. Granted, this is all like this so far has been 911 dispatcher, detective, officer, EMS, things like that. So like,
You said no objection? All right, they're admitted.
Yeah, post you.
Yes.
we'll watch day 2 tomorrow on tomorrow's stream, and that's where it'll get spicier, I'm sure. I think that's where they talk to not emergency service workers.
Top down of the victim child as she was.
Yeah, we're switching to Ballad Show.
And where is this room in the emergency room?
I believe their trauma room in the emergency department is right off the ambulance entrance. I don't remember if I was the first or second room, but it's right there off the emergency, where the ambulances pull up.
When you first walked in, was anybody with her?
Just the deputy coroner.
Stage 30, what do we have?
So after initial photographs, I removed the hospital and ambulance blankets to reflect the presentment of the decedent in the hospital, and so that's what we have here, documenting all of the medical intervention, but also documenting the significant volume of blood.
If you could for us in this photograph, Stacy Exhibit 30, is this the condition that you found Hannah?
This was when I arrived
When
at
you
the
arrived at the
hospital.
hospital, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you, for the record, describe what is on her left foot?
On the left foot is the sock.
Stage 31,
We do document from the head down, full documentation with pictures. So I asked the deputy coroner to position, and what I'm looking for is not only evidence on the top, but any evidence of any injury or anything that may have been missed at the scene. And so I want to make sure I get a full documentation of the decedent's face.
Stage 32, which hand are we looking at here?
This is going to be the left hand.
I'm going to zoom in. What do we notice in this photograph?
And so my documentation of the whole was the arm, but that is a significant pooling and clotting artifact of blood. Also, the amount of saturation and layering in the clothing item that was removed.
Stage 33, is this the right hand here?
This is going to be the right hand, and again, we're just documenting the volume of blood and then the transfer throughout the body, different areas where blood was deposited on the baby's skin.
Stage 34,
These are the injuries that I noted on the child's neck, the two linear puncture wounds going down, and then the linear laceration below those two puncture wounds on the neck. And I've asked the deputy coroner to reflect the neck back to show them in a natural state. They're not stretched, but as the head would lie with Hannah's head, so as to document those injuries.
and stage 35, what did you do?
I needed to give scale, to give size and angle, if you will, of that large injury present on the child's neck.
How long were you at the hospital with Hannah?
I think an hour and a half to do everything, plus to consult with deputy coroner and make sure that I had done a thorough documentation of the child's injuries.
Fair approach. Yes. I think Stacy Exhibits 36 through 43, another set. See if those are fair photographs of the residents in this case.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
But those fair photographs of the location in this case at 215 Mountain Vista.
Yes, sir.
Just at the time I tamed that, Stacy Exhibit 36 through 43.
Any objection? All right, 36 through, I'm sorry?
43.
43 are admitted.
Now, publishing on.
Go ahead.
Let's look at this. So about, I guess you got there, it's dark, it's later.
By the time the search warrant got there, we were able to read, yes, it had turned dark.
Now, a search warrant is a legal authority gives you to go in and search a place, is that right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, nobody was giving you problem not to search the house, though, is that correct?
Correct.
And why do y'all normally just go ahead and get a search warrant? Is it just something you routinely do?
We do it in case we need to perform functions that may potentially damage a residence. If I have to remove items from a residence, if I have to start cutting into walls, remove carpet, remove large items from a residence, I want to make sure that I have a legal document. I also make sure that I'm staying within the scope of my legal document as a crime scene investigator. So we do it as a matter of work to ensure that we're doing the right thing for that specific scene and we're in our correct zone.
How long did it take to process this in here? Do you remember?
I know we were there for several hours.
Would you consider this, and I'm not taking anything away from the case in any means, but when it comes to the complication of the tools and things that you had to use in this case, did you have to do anything, any specialization like remove carpeting or take DNA? Or
pick up some plants.
Or was this more of a, it is what it is, we walk in the room and see it?
With this particular scene, once we got to where the incident occurred, it was a pretty clear cut scene. It was very contained to a single room. It was photographs, measurements, documentation.
This is stage 36, what are we looking at here?
This is the exterior front of the residence. We're just giving ourselves location, walking you, ladies and gentlemen, into the residence.
Stage 37, what is this photograph of?
Again, this is just another angle of the residence showing the driveway and where it leads to. In this particular house, so it's a side entrance, drive under garage.
The jury has seen on camera video, they've seen the entry, but if you go into this garage and you're looking here at stage 38, this door, tell us about this door, where does that lead to?
So this door leads into the kitchen foyer.
Yes.
Layout. It's a narrow hall. There's lots of stuff.
Need the money and the
I think
planets.
you're looking at that door, you're looking down the hallway.
Yes,
And I think, am I correct, that if you walk straight and kind of go left, it's going to go towards the stairs, is that right?
I believe so.
So that's stage 40. Stage 41, if you walk into this room and if you kind of orientate yourself by this door,
Maybe that'll help
realize
us.
the Draper curtain thing here.
Space Joker could be beneficial.
Now I'm going to stage 42. See, linking them up here. So you come through, come in that door, walk straight ahead, turn left, and I think you end up here. Is that right?
Correct, and that will take you upstairs.
Is upstairs where the stabbing occurred?
Upstairs is where the incident occurred, yes, sir.
What do we have here in stage 43?
We're just showing halfway upstairs, walking whoever into the house up the stairs.
You're on the approach. You need to take exhibits 44 through 82. Look at those and make sure they're fair photographs that you took this test. 44 through 82.
My magic deck. Oh, same. Blue stake, okay. That real quick. That's wild. I think that that'll be good to hold on to for a bit.
They are, sir.
Just at this time, I'm tentative mistakes exhibit 44 through 82.
Space 44 through 82 are admitted.
And that helps us.
Yes.
Space 44, what are we looking at here?
We're looking at the entryway into the bedroom, but more importantly, I was documenting the forced entry into the bedroom.
And how do you know that's forced?
The frame has been split down the middle where the lights would go, and it's pushed in.
Did you have any knowledge of who forced the door?
I don't.
You were just processing the scene?
Correct.
You don't normally interview witnesses or anything like that. You're just dealing with the loci or the actual location.
Yes, when we're asked to assist an agency and process a scene, that's exactly.
Especially since we keep doing straights.
Detective in charge of the investigation. I just document what's there, what is not there for those detectives.
Shall we give how much furniture or things like that in the room?
In that particular room, it's just a mattress
Were
and
there some other items that you noted?
a couple small items.
Next picture, 645. Is it just a picture of the busted door frame?
So what I've done is I've gone closer in, so I'm going to go from bottom up, just documenting the forced entry.
46, same thing, just going up the middle of the door frame.
The middle of the door frame, but that is where the catch would be,
47,
top of the door frame.
48, what do we have here?
And so
Need to buy a
now,
plant.
So I want to look down. So we think about a camera. Camera sees like our eyes do, but it doesn't move. It doesn't have peripheral per se. So it's my job to make sure that I show you everything, so that I move from bottom to top and keep it center. So that's all I'm doing is documenting that there's nothing right there at that door jam.
When you're processing a scene, initially, do you know what evidence or items or articles or things like that are significant or relevant, or you just make sure you document the entire scene?
We do two ways. And when we're assisting an agency, I stay within the scope of the search warrant that is given to me. In this particular case, it was read before I went in. I knew the parameters of the search warrant, and so I stayed within those scopes. But as far as knowing what's relevant and not, I would generally get that through my walkthrough, confer with the detective and go, hey, you need to maybe think about X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, whatever's in that search warrant, whatever the detective is asking us to collect, process, document, is what we're gonna do. But in the documentation, when I wanna make sure that I get all of the scene, I may take some liberties in that. I'm gonna take more pictures, try to get as much as I can while staying within the parameters and scope of the search warrant.
Could you explain to the jury how oftentimes we just talk about a crime scene, but a crime scene could be a scene as in a place, but it could also be people involved, whether it's the suspect or the victim, or could there be multiple crime scenes?
In this case, there were two crime scenes. So the victim child was the first scene because that decedent has evidence on it, around it, near it, or sometimes in them, depending on the mechanism used. And then there's a physical location where the crime may have occurred. So in this instance, we have the residence, but then we go upstairs to this particular bedroom and we find our scene. This is where we believe, based on the evidence and the presentment of that room, where this
Red seal is pretty big.
And so we had those two scenes.
Have you ever worked a knifing or a stabbing case where two people are involved and you're trying to figure out who's the primary aggressor?
Yes, we actually did one several years ago where we reconstructed it and ended up reversing, and it was determined to be an act of self-defense. Responded, and it was a stabbing. Lots of blood documentation. There were actually 3 scenes involved in that one. The residence in 2 areas of the street where the fight continued. And so.
So do you look for evidence of blood being spilled, and where it's spilled, is that significant?
It can be. It's going to show me movement, and depending on where it falls and the type of blood that it is, can give me more clues.
Do you look for injuries on the people involved?
Yes.
Do you have to also know like who's involved in the relationship and the size and things like that?
Not necessarily when I'm doing my initial investigation.
Hunking down
because
my
I want
points.
to know what the scene is telling me, in that if I have blood And I do this because I was a detective for so long. I don't want to engage my detective brain to force me to a conclusion. I want to stay impartial and let that scene talk to me. So when I see large volumes of blood, I'm going to note them. And then from there, once I've had an opportunity to take in that scene, then I can start looking at individual patterns and stains to make a determination of what kind of pattern or stain they are. And then from there, decide if they're going to give me information.
There's so much to explain that.
This was our first presentment.
Maybe
of
I'm
a
just stoned and not saying
small
much,
knife, just lying in the floor, and so we took note of
which
that.
might be on, I guess.
50, what do we have here?
And so all I've done is turn my body with my camera to capture more of the room. So now we're seeing an overall of the room, but now we have relation of the knife.
There's not a lot going on in this trial
There's
tonight.
a volume of blood on the
After
floor.
the
Some
opening
evidence of,
statements.
medical intervention, and we start to kind of get our boundaries for this particular bedroom.
51 just still going to the right, is that correct?
Yes.
52, what do we have here?
So here I am inside the corner now, and I am along the right wall. So we have a mattress on the floor covered in a sheet, a large volume of blood with some transfers that would show movement on that sheet in this bedroom.
States 53, what do we have here?
And so now from my position in the room, I'm coming back to our left as I stand in the bedroom.
As you look at these walls, states 53. So I'm looking
Badge.
at the there's straight ahead, there's two windows, is that right?
Hit the wrong
To
thing.
the right's the mattress, is that correct?
Yes.
And to the left is a dresser, I guess you would call that, is that right?
I'm Spectral.
Yes, sir.
Do you notice the walls in this? Did you find puncture wounds or holes or anything in the walls like that?
I did not.
How about those windows? Are they busted out or broken or anything like that?
No, sir.
Any disheveled, broken furniture or anything along those lines?
Not in this bedroom.
Just that bed is in the shape it's in, is that right?
Correct.
Now are we moving back to the left? Is that your procedure? It states 54 here.
I'm still moving towards the left.
States 55. Still going left?
Yes.
States 56. What do we have here?
And so I've moved into the center, and now I'm showing the floor in the middle of the bedroom.
We'll go two pair. Let's go side there. See?
Still angle my camera down towards the floor, looking back towards the mattress. Again, documenting medical intervention, but also showing relation
You,
to
right,
blood
yeah.
stains, the volumes of blood to the mattress.
States 58.
Again, just another shot where I'm trying to encompass more of the room in relation to everything on the floor.
59. What is this?
And so 59, I've moved 90 degrees to the mattress. So I am perpendicular to the mattress, and I'm doing my best to get a top-down overall shot of this mattress.
Is it accurate that when you arrived, there was no persons involved in this still on scene?
There was no one in this area when I arrived.
When you see this processing the scene, what does this tell you based on your training experience? When it comes to where the location of the blood or the amount of blood.
Just that there was a significant bloodletting event right here. This very dark blood and just the volume. Plus you can see some clotting artifacts in that indicate that there was a significant bloodletting event right there, but that there was also movement within and on top of this mattress as evident by the handprints.
Probably didn't need to do that, but making more aces might be
What
nice.
is this item that's at kind of the foot of the mattress here?
I believe those were baby wipes, and I've just moved down to the end of the mattress, and so now I'm working my way back up.
We're talking about these here, is that what we're looking at?
Yes, sir.
61, just kind of stepping back, is that what you're doing? 62?
And so in 62, all I've done is I want to show relation to the volume, the stain here on the carpet as it relates to the mattress.
If I can go back to 61, do you see, in Stacy's Exhibit 61, are there two pooling areas of blood, one on the bed and then one on the floor by the baby wipes?
There are two separate patterns, yes.
So what I'm talking about is this one here on the floor in front of the baby wipes, is that right?
Yes, that's one area.
And for the record, which is the predominant or has more blood, the one on the mattress or the one on the floor?
That is,
Which stain is bigger?
because it's absorbed, the one on the mattress is bigger than the one on the floor.
State 63, what do we have here?
That was a diaper bag that was sitting at the foot of that mattress.
And just to be clear, all the evidence you collected is the bag, the other things we're talking about, the knife, all that, you turn that over to Camp Police Department, is that right?
Yes.
Say 64, what do we have here?
Just what we call a medium range shot. So I'm showing the relationship of the mattress to the diaper bag and the sippy cup, just kind of cleaning that up.
State 65.
We're top down over that diaper bag.
When it comes to collecting evidence, like a bag, and the contents of the bag, is there a time where that will be processed and things will be taken out and accounted for, usually?
Yes, and not at a scene.
So that's later on, someone else will do that, a lead detective or somebing like that.
That's fair. That
Just
happens.
take everything as it is, not unpack it, and just turn it over to the Camp Police Department and the detectives there.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's what they usually do.
Just documenting the exposed side. So this is the side facing out towards the bedroom, not closest to the wall.
And 66, what is?
Alright, let's start going for strays here.
Well, I knew the burnt blanket, and then I don't really recall what the pink thing was. I'm sure it was an item of clothing, baby clothing.
67?
Again, just another angle of the diaper bag, but noting the towel and then what was on the other side. And this is all done before we move a single item within that room.
68, just looking at the foot of bed.
So we're from the foot at what we call normal vision. So I just have my camera up this way and I'm shooting back towards that wall.
69, is the towel on the bed.
Just turn the zoom in to note the towel.
70, what do we have here in this photograph?
This palm swipe
Oh, nice, but
was very intriguing to me as a crime scene investigator. And I wanted to try and document that. Just one, noting the size of that. I know that is an adult's hand, especially since I had already been to the hospital and seen the victim child. So I knew that to be an adult hand.
71, just a closer view.
Yes,
And-
trying to get over it and focus. I'm trying to do this all while holding a camera.
And then in 71, you see the blood has different formations or shapes on the type of stains that are left.
Yes, it's absorbing into the sheet at this point.
Now, state 72, what is this and why did you take a picture of this?
So anytime
Can I get a
we introduce
6?
something into a crime scene, we have to document. We document it through our notes.
Can I get a 6,
and
please?
photography. Obviously, yellow tint evidence markers are not naturally occurring things in people's homes. So we start to document. And I just figure out what I want to call one, and I go from there in a logical progression through my evidence. So we start with evidence marker 1. I decided that was going to be the. So we have
this might work.
the relationship and size.
No.
72.
I did a good job.
Sometimes this is evidence marker 1 or EM for evidence marker 1, is that right?
That is right.
And what type of knife
One
is this?
more.
Can you tell us about the logo on the blade itself?
That was a Cuisinart paring knife.
And did you go in the house and look to see where this was taken from?
At the end, we checked the blocks, and I found a block downstairs, a knife block. It had 2 missing knives, so we just documented that there were 2 knives missing from this particular block.
73, what do we have here?
So I used evidence marker 2 to denote this volume of blood on the carpet near the mattress.
74,
74 was the palm print. We would normally rotate it, but so 3 at the top, just noting the size with our scale.
75,
75, I just had to say all of this on this mattress here, this sheet is all number 4.
There we go.
So I said the top of the towel as best I could was the starting point. I laid a scale to show length and size and just called this 4.
76.
Is the diaper bag.
And then when, I just remember blood patterns and blood spray and how blood can come out differently. Does it make different depending on how it comes out of the body? Whether it's a slow coming out or if there's force behind it and it's being pushed out further?
The difference between arterial and venous.
And when you look
blood,
at
yes.
the mattress here, could that explain sometimes why there's different type of patterns?
There you go. Okay.
We wouldn't normally identify patterns on absorbent surfaces because I don't know how much time elapsed between the bloodletting event and the time I got there. So the blood absorbing into the material is going to elongate any stains or patterns I get. And so in our blood stain pattern training, we're taught we do this on hard, non-porous surfaces in order to get accurate measurements to.
Mike, give me a replacement.
I would just call that a a volume. That's just a transfer of blood. I don't know how it came, because as it absorbs, it could go lengthwise, it could go widthwise.
Doing a
So I'm just
7
gonna
because
apply
that
just a
can
large volume of
not
blood.
be included
And then 76
in a straight.
evidence marker 5. 77 is just where certain markers are in the room. Is that right?
Yes, I'm trying to capture the overall of all of the evidence markers with their relationship in this bedroom.
And evidence marker 1 for the knife in relation to evidence marker 2, you don't have any knowledge whether or not that was moved by EMS or pushed over there or anything like that, do you? Or do you know?
I don't recall that I was told that anything was moved upon EMS's arrival. That would,
Just that's how you found the knife in that place.
that is how I found the scene when I got into it.
78, just going back through. 79, what do we have here?
There we go. So
I
go.
wanted to
Search.
document just the saturation. To
Scaling,
go on that large
scaling.
volume, so I have several pictures of just
Only one
saturation of
hand.
blood into the mattress itself.
Another photograph. Of 82, did you visually go downstairs to the kitchen and look for where this Cuisinart knife could have come from?
It was the block, only block in the house, and it was missing 2 knives out of the block.
You have those with you today?
I do.
Dude. Damn, we had good scaling going.
Take your time. These things are tough to get on sometimes. Yeah, man, first witness. Did you collect the knife in this case?
I did.
Did you have an opportunity before you testified today to look at this box and verify that this is the knife?
That's it. Oh shit. Okay. Okay.
Check, make sure State's Exhibit 83 is the knife collected in this scene.
It is.
You know, this time I tend to have a State's Exhibit 83. Is it in the same or substantial similar conditions when you collect it, except for the protection and everything else in the box that marks the collecting of it?
Yes.
Judge, I tend to have a State's 83.
State's 83 is admitted.
Judge, may we publish that in a traditional manner? I don't want to take it out of the box if that's all right. If you could just stand and just display it before the jury.
Yes, it's definitely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. All right, sir, if you would just get in front of the jury, don't say anything to them, and just hold it up so they can see it, then I'm going to ask you some questions about it. You just hold it up.
Show us. No, show us.